Everyone talks about Facebook ads for motivated sellers or maybe Google pay-per-click for motivated sellers, but nobody is talking about YouTube ads for motivated sellers. That means that it's completely wide open. If you're frustrated with cold calling or direct mail or driving for dollars or any of those old school outbound strategies and are looking to get inbound motivated seller leads, this is for you. However, if you are already doing Google pay-per-click or Facebook, you may want to introduce a new channel into the mix to get even more motivated sellers. Today, I'm going to go ahead and give you a beginner-friendly overview of how YouTube ads work. That way you can know exactly everything required and then make the decision if this just might be the thing that you've been looking for. Now, when we're talking about YouTube ads, we're talking about ads that appear on youtube.com, either on the desktop or on your mobile device. There's a few sets of videos. Number one are the 16:9 videos. These are called in-stream ads. Now, these would appear either on desktop, which is what the desktop browser is, or it could be on a mobile device. Same video that you're watching me on right now. You also would appear on ads in the Shorts feed. These are obviously shorts, similar to Instagram Reels and TikTok videos. And these are the vertical format. Most of the time, these, if not all the time, are going to be on mobile devices. So what makes YouTube different than, say, Facebook or TikTok ads? Well, you're hitting people when they're actively either searching for something related to the issue that they have, whether it be problem tenants, inheritance, or anything else, or Google is using their search history and their behavior, meaning if they search for inherited property attorney and then they go visit a website for an inherited property attorney, Google knows that information and now they're going to go ahead and show that ad to them when they're browsing YouTube. The other key distinction of YouTube ads versus Facebook and TikTok is that YouTube doesn't bombard the prospect with 20 competitor ads. In Facebook and also TikTok, when you see one ad, this is more especially true on Facebook, you see a bunch of ads of the same thing very, very quickly. However, with YouTube, you don't see that. And so not only do you have less advertisers there that are advertising for motivated sellers, but also the frequency of them being able to see ads of the same business is very low. From our clients, they say that YouTube ads are greener prospects. By that, I mean that these are prospects that have not been bombarded by other ads, which means that they have not spoken with a ton of investors. So you're getting that prospect either early on in the process or before they have had a chance to talk to that many investors. You'll get a chance to catch people on TV devices as well, because most of the time they're not watching social media on the TV set, but the majority of the traffic that's growing on YouTube today is TV traffic. Hey, by the way, if you're interested in getting our help to set YouTube ads for motivated sellers, Facebook and or TikTok, make sure you click the link in the description, because we have a program in which we can help set up everything for you, teach you how to run it so that way you can run these type of campaigns in about an hour, a week or so of work, and you don't have to pay an agency or pay expensive pay-per-lead prices. We've got three main components that make YouTube ads work, and then a few other underlying components that make things easier. The three main components are the video creatives, number one, the landing page, and then the targeting. So let's go over each of these here individually. These are the video creatives, so we have to load up our account with videos that are either the 16:9 or YouTube Shorts. Now, we have to create a YouTube channel. However, the channel doesn't need to have any content at all. In fact, all the videos on that channel can be completely unlisted. And then what we do is we upload the videos to that channel, and then we take those videos and link them back to the ad account here. So as you can see here, we have quite a few videos here. We have these long form videos that look like this. So this is actually taking the short video, putting it into this frame, and then adding the text here. You can also do the full blown video where the whole video is of that person, but this is a quick and easy hack to be able to use the same creative that you have on your Facebook or TikTok ad accounts. As well as you'll have these type of videos that will appear. These are the shorts videos. We have both in person, and we also have these AI videos as well. The next thing that we need for a successful YouTube ads campaign is a landing page. Now, some of you may have a website that you're using for SEO. You may have gotten a website from GoDaddy or some of these other service providers that is very inexpensive. And this is one thing that you do not want to go cheap on, because the landing page must convert the traffic when you get there. Otherwise, you're going to give a bunch of money to Google and you're not going to get any leads back. This is an example of our landing page that we use. And it's a very simple landing page, loads quickly, and also gives the prospect enough information for them to go to the next step. We don't want a slim landing page that says nothing, but we also don't want to bombard the prospect and send them down the rabbit hole where then all of a sudden they get overwhelmed and then they're going to go ahead and back out and not fill out their information. A key distinction here between Facebook and TikTok is that they are going to a landing page, which will automatically increase the quality of the lead because they're going off platform. On Facebook, for example, they can fill out a lead form, and it's a very low effort process for them, which means that they can just simply fill that out rather quickly, even if they don't have that much intent. Here, they're going to a landing page, they have to fill out the form and hit submit, which means that now we're making sure that they are truly interested in getting an offer on their property. Of course, another critical component of this landing page is a CRM integration. When the lead comes in, then that lead gets pushed out to wherever it is that you're managing your leads. It could be something as simple as a Google Sheet or something really complicated and advanced in terms of a CRM. You also have to make sure that you have all the proper tracking codes on the website, so that way when a visitor comes, it can be tracked by Google, and when they submit their information, they'll go to the thank you page, and then Google will get indication that that person submitted as a lead, which then fuels a campaign to continue to work. Next, we have the targeting inside of Google, and we can go into the audience manager section and create different audiences so that we can then use them in order to target our ads. An example is we can create, there's two different type of audiences. There's custom segments as well as in-market audiences. Custom segments are where you can select the plus key and you can type in, for example, motivated seller search queries, and you can set either an audience based on people that search for a particular term, or also people that show intention about a particular thing because of the fact that they search for a term. So let's say, for example, you do sell your house fast, could be one of them. And as we wait for them to pull up, you can see them here. We can select all those here, and we can create an audience either on intention or the actual search query, or both. We can do that with both. So let's say that we created this one here. I'm just going to say that this is the test account. Now, the other thing we can do now that we created this custom segment, we can create what's called a custom, an audience that then we can target. Now, the audience could be encompassing either a custom segment, similar to the one that we had gone ahead and created, for example. So this could be motivated seller search queries as an audience that is using the search intent here that we identified in the previous. Now, we want to put in a lot more search terms, but I just did this to be able to show you. In addition to that, we can add in other demographic or psychographic information and or exclusions. We can also, now you're limited with a housing category. You can't adjust the 18 to 65. However, you could adjust the income bracket. So you can say, hey, I don't want the top 10% income bracket. I want the, from 11 or 21%, etc. And again, those are the only couple levers that you can actually use here, because you're restricted because of the housing category and you're not able to select between male and female. Now, the other thing that you could do here is you could do what's called detailed. You can see here detailed and the interest and detailed demographics. So, for example, there's things called in-market audiences. So you can see here as you scroll through, there's very specific audiences. For example, I'll give you an example of a particular type of audience. So you can type in the word moving soon, and then you'll be able to see people that have that are in these market audiences. So there's a life event moving soon, and if you hover over here, people who are about to move to a new or permanent residence, and then you have what's called in-market audiences. So we look at as an in-market audiences, these are people interested in purchasing or hiring relocation services, such as movers, packers, and truck rentals. So the difference is, this is more targeted, right? They're in the market for this particular thing, versus the life event. It's a little bit more broader. So those are things that you could do. There's a variety of different audiences here. There's audiences here for people that are looking to sell their property, for fast, for a quick sale. There's probate, there's evictions, there's a bunch of different audiences. So those are the way that we can target within the system here. There's a few quite other things that we need to make sure that we have in place. Just quickly going through the menu, there's exclusion list, where we don't want the ads to show because there tends to be a lot of spam, etc. There's a few settings here in the account. This is somebody else's account, so I'm not going to click onto the account settings. That just go across the entire account, such as the campaign URL and a few other things. We have to set our goals properly, which means if we're looking for leads, we're going to set a global load of submit lead form, and then we want to make sure that that gets applied to all campaigns. When we're creating campaigns for YouTube ads, we're going to go ahead and click on this plus button, and you'll see that when we come here, there are a variety of different options. Just so that you're clear, we're always going to be doing a campaign for leads. This is our submit lead forms event that we have the account optimizing for. And then we have a variety of different options. We're going to be selecting demand gen, which is the platform. Now, there's a couple of nuances here. This one here allows us to advertise only on YouTube. Performance Max goes across every other single Google property, such as YouTube, Gmail, search, etc. We're really only targeting people on YouTube, so that's why we're going to select with this one here. There are a few other options for video, but those they don't have the settings that we need, and so that's why we select Demand Gen campaign. We'll hit continue, and at that point, then we'll start the process of creating our ad. And there's a bunch of different settings that need to be put in place here, including the daily budget, as well as a target cost per action or target cost per lead, just to make sure we keep things in check with YouTube and they don't start spending money unnecessarily. And a bunch of different settings. Once you create this part of it, then you'll go to the ad group. You'll create the ad group. The format is similar to Facebook in the sense of you have campaign, then you have ad group, then you have the ads. Each one will have a variety of different settings inside of it. And then you'll set up the locations. We set up both locations that we want to target as well as excluded countries. So that way we make sure that we don't get any trash traffic. And we also specify English as the main language. We have to specify here the channels that we're going to show the ads to. Now that would depend on the type of campaign that we're running. Meaning that if we're running a campaign only targeting shorts, then we'll only be selecting the shorts. If we're targeting a campaign selecting TV, which requires in-stream, then we'll be selecting in-stream. And then also here at the campaign level, we can also specify the location and devices that these are going to be shown at, such as computers, mobile devices, tablets, or TV screens. Finally, we'll go to the ad. We'll select the video ad, and then we'll be able to add from the ad account. This one doesn't have one because it's our test account, but then at that point, you'll be able to see all the videos that are associated with your YouTube channel here, and you'll just simply add them. You can add multiple ones here as well. So we tend to group all the like ones all together. A logo is required. That's something that you can't get around. And then there's a few other settings here, and we'll put in the ads, the headlines, call to action, etc. And then at that point, then that campaign you can launch and is ready to go. However, what we recommend is you take that group, for example, each group is an audience. So for example, you might have a moving soon audience, and then you take this and you duplicate it, all settings the same, and then now you'll have another audience in there. And so you'll create the account with a bunch of different audiences, so that way you give yourself the best chance and the best opportunity for Google to find the right prospect. I do find the interface to be a little bit easier to navigate once you get used to it, mainly because of the fact that you can do everything from this one place, as opposed to Facebook. Many times you have to go to the business manager, go to the landing page, go to the ad account, go and check out the page, and sometimes jump around quite a few places, events manager, audiences, versus here, everything is all in one place. In terms of budgeting, we recommend that you set a target cost per action that is not going to be too high, and then set your budget at a lower amount. Typically, I recommend 25 to 35 to get an initial set of conversions going. Google is very quick to spend your money. So if you set this up improperly, you don't put the right budget, you don't put the target cost per action, then Google will be very aggressive in the first 2 or 3 days, and you can end up losing $200 or $300 and not get a lead. It is a less forgiving platform in the beginning. That means that whereas Facebook, you can get a couple campaigns up and running rather quickly and get leads very quickly. On YouTube, I find that you have to launch several campaigns in order to find one that hits the right pocket of that particular audience. With YouTube ads, you're going to be looking at a lower lead volume, slightly higher cost per lead, not by much, maybe $10 more. However, it is a higher quality lead because of the intent, both from the signals that the prospect is going to be of higher intent, both because of the fact that they're going to a landing page and the fact that we're using Google's data in order to really fine tune who that target avatar is. So is YouTube ads right for you? It's great for you as a beginner, because as a beginner, you want inbound leads. You want to try to get away from cold calling. It does require a slightly higher budget than Facebook. So whereas with Facebook, we can start off with $20 a day. With YouTube, you want to be at about $35, $50 to even as high as $75 per day. I wouldn't go any more than $75 per day when you're starting out with YouTube ads. And that ranges somewhere between $1,000 to $2,000 a month. But again, remember, you would only spend $2,000 because you spent $50, you spent $100, you spent $200, and you got leads, and that gave you the confidence to keep on going. The mistakes I see people make with YouTube ads is that they're targeting too small of a geographic area. You're targeting either one county or one city, and that just tends to really have the system struggle to get you leads, and or the cost per lead dramatically increases. Another mistake I see is people using very complicated websites as opposed to just a simple landing page that loads quickly and also looks great on mobile, because remember, a lot of these people are going to be coming to the website on a mobile device. You got to make sure your tracking is correct. I recommend only running very low dollar campaigns initially to get that first conversion, making sure that you see it in your interface so that way you know that everything is working properly. Another mistake is expecting you to do a deal in the first 30 days. We have clients that come in and spend $400 or $500 and get their first deal, and now everything is amazing. However, depending on you and your level of skill and a little bit of luck and circumstance, it may take a little bit more leads for you to get a deal done. Typically, we expect that you're going to be somewhere an average of about 1 out of every 25 leads will turn into a deal, but that number could be higher or lower. That also depends on your level of skill. If you're great at talking to sellers, great at doing wholesaling and novations and analyzing deals and making the right offers, and obviously you're going to have a better chance than somebody brand new. Bottom line, if you set up the account correctly and you have a little bit of patience, you're going to have great success with YouTube. It's wide open right now. It's underutilized by real estate investors, and the lead quality is really great. If you're running YouTube ads and you're running them over a large geographic area in order to get the cost per lead down and increase your opportunities, one of the biggest questions that comes up is, am I going to get a lot of leads in a lot of rural areas that are just not going to be viable? You'd be surprised. In fact, watch that video right there, and I show you how many of these small markets are hidden gems where you can make a ton of money.